8th grade. I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're moving on to section 3 in chapter 2, solving multi-step equations. So up until now, we did one-step equations, we did two-step equations, then we did some like terms, some distributive property, and now we're going to combine all of those things together into one equation, okay? So to get started, let's talk about some words. So simplify. Simplify means combining. So we're going to combine any like terms that we see, or if there's parentheses, we're going to distribute by multiplying. We want to get rid of those parentheses, okay? Okay, so once we've done that, okay, when there's only one variable, then we can go through the steps of trying to get the variable alone. Okay, so example 1. Let's dive in. In this problem, our steps are going to be, step 1, simplify. There's no parentheses, okay? There is just like terms. So we're going to combine any like terms, which I see a 3n and 4n. Whatever those represent, they are the same, so we can combine them. 3 plus 4 is 7n. The 9, I'm going to bring it down. It says plus 9, so I'm going to do plus 9, and then equals 2. I like to draw a line through my equal sign, so I'm going to do that to help me keep it balanced, okay? Now that I have one variable, now that I have just one variable, I can move on to get the variable alone. So that's going to be my second step. Get variable. And remember that these notes, they're for you, okay? They're for you, they're not for me. So make sure that you're writing them. If I'm writing them, it's important, okay? If you need to pause the video while you take notes or while you're writing, pause it. You can always come back later. Just make sure that you get them all. In order to get the variable alone, right, I have to do an inverse operation. And I'm gonna have to do that twice, okay? Because I have two things on the side of the variable. Okay, so I have to do inverse operations, the opposite of what I see. And remember, we start with whatever is not attached to the variable. So plus 9 is not attached, so I'm gonna start with that. The opposite of plus 9 is minus 9. That's 0, so that falls out, okay? Along with the inverse operation, we're going to do one at a time. I'm just going to add that down here. One number. Focus on one number at a time. Start. These are all reminders with number not attached to variable. We're only going to write the steps once, okay? So make sure you get them down so you can review them. And then 4 is, remember that twin rule that I like. Whatever you do to one, you're going to do to the other because we want to keep it fair. Oh, sorry about that. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to do one at a time. We're going to start with the number not attached, and we're going to remember the twin rule. Okay. So over here, I did minus 9 to the left. So because that twin rule, I have to do minus 9 to the right, okay? When I do that, I'm left with a 7n, so I'm going to bring that down. 7n is equal to, that's all that I have on the left. And then on the right, I have 2 minus 9, which is 7, right? The difference between them is 7, and negative 9, because that is bigger, it controls my sign. So I have a negative 7. Okay, so now I go back to 3 and 4, right? I want to get the variable alone, so I have to do the opposite. So since I see 7n, that means times, so I'm going to divide. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I just have n. What I do on the left, I do on the right, keeping it fair. So I'm going to divide by 7 on the right, and I'm left with a negative 1. Okay? The last thing you're going to be doing today is a check. Check your answer. In order to check, all you have to do is plug it in. Okay, we're just going to plug it in. So the original problem was 3n plus 9 plus 4n equals 2. So everywhere there's an n, I'm going to plug in what we got, which was -1. So 3 times -1 plus 9 plus 4 times -1 equals 2. Okay? So 3 times -1 is -3 plus 9. 4 times -1 is -4 equals 2. So now I have two negatives. I have a negative and a negative, so I'm going to combine them. So I have 9 plus a -7, right? -3 and -4 is -7, and that is equal to 2, or it's supposed to be. So what is 9 minus 7? It's 2. So our answer checks. Okay? I'm going to leave these steps again here for a second while I find our next problem, example 2. Make sure you get all that down. Here's our next problem, example 2. -15 equals 5b plus 12 minus 2b plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to group my like terms. So I'm going to move the two b's by each other, and then I'm going to move the numbers by each other, okay, just so it doesn't like get too messy. So draw my line down the equal sign, -15, I'm just going to leave over there for now. So 5b minus 2b, sign stays with it, plus 12 plus 6. Okay, so it's still the same problem, I just like put the like terms by each other. So I have -15, and now I can combine, so 5b's minus 2b's, whatever that represents, leaves me with 3 of them. And then a +12 and a +6 leaves me with 18. Now remember, my goal is to get the variable alone. I've simplified, I've combined my like terms, so now I need to move towards getting the b in this problem all by itself. So to do that, I have to do the inverse operations. So I have to do the opposite of what I see. I see a 3b and I see a +18. And remember, we start with whatever is not attached to the variable. So -18 is the opposite, and that will leave a 0 over there. Just have a 3b. And because I did -18 on the right, I need to do -18 on the left. So I have a -15 and I have -18. So those signs are the same. And when the signs are the same, we add. So a negative plus more negative gives me a bigger negative number. So -33 is equal to 3b. And then from here, I'm going to divide to get just a b by itself. And whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other. And I end up with -11, okay, which I now need to check. So I hope you realize, like, every line that I'm trying to show is practice to help you set up, like, good practice ultimately for the tests and quizzes, right? So if you were to make a mistake and tell me that 15, the -15 here, -18, maybe you tell me it's -32. So then that means that when you divide, your answer is going to be off. You're going to end up with a fraction or a decimal. But because you're combining correctly, you've simplified, you're working towards getting the variable alone, I can give you some points for the problem. So the problem might be worth 4 points. Because you got the answer wrong, you might get 2.5 points for it, or even 3, okay? Because it's more about the steps and less weight on the actual numbers, okay? So now we need to check this one. So I hope that I'm explaining well, like, how important your work is. Please show each step, okay? Get in the practice of that. All right, so if I'm going to check this, I have negative 15 from the original problem, 5b plus 12 minus 2b plus 6. And then I'm going to substitute in my answer. So we got negative 11. So I have 5 times negative 11 plus 12 minus 2 times negative 11 plus 6. So negative 15 still on the left. On the right, I have negative 55, and then I have plus 12, and then a negative 2 times a negative 11. Negative times a negative is a positive, so I end up with positive 22 there, and then plus 6. So now I have 3 positives, so I'm going to combine those. So if I do the big ones first, 12 and 22, that's 34. And then 34 plus 6 is 40. So I have a negative 55 plus 40. And when I combine those, I get a negative 15. So I'm right. My answer is correct. Okay? All right, let's do one with parentheses. Okay, let's do one more with parentheses. So example 3. Let's say that we have 14 is equal to 2 parentheses x plus 5. So the parentheses in this part, we can't combine the x and the 5. They're not the same. They're not like terms. So we have to distribute that 2 by multiplying it to both things. Okay? So we have 14. And then we have 2 times x, that's 2x. And then we have 2 times 5, that's 10. Okay? And then we would do our steps from before. So this would be our simplifying. Now we need to get the variable alone. We start with the number not attached to the variable. So the opposite of positive 10 is minus 10, and that falls out, it equals 0. And the twin rule, whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. When I subtract 10, I get 4 is equal to 2x. From here, the inverse operation is to divide. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, and I end up with x is equal to 2. And now I have to check it. So I plug it in. So 14 is equal to 2 parentheses 2 plus 5. So 14 is equal to 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. 14 is equal to 14. So I know that I am right. I hope you guys are feeling confident and ready. If you have any questions, please come see me for office hours, okay? We are going to be on page 62. And I'd like for you to do 6 through 9 and also 16 through 19. Okay? Thanks, guys. Good luck.